Welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View. It is still Pie Radio, hosted by myself. Everyone throwing up the freeze and that. Hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, JV, and also Stattle, Mr. I've seen more in the night than you've seen in your life, Bloodstrom. Shout out Leroy May for that last show, innit? If we're going to lock off and everyone's in isolation, that was a great show to end it on. And then when we're off isolation, we're going to bring it back with Leroy May. Obviously, Kristen Stroll Stattle as well. So that is now in Stroll's name when we're doing introductions. What you man saying, no, innit? You man good, yeah?
Good, man.
Good, man, innit?
Yeah, good, man.
It feels weird. I'm not going to lie. It feels so weird not doing this at the station and that.
Yeah.
It feels weird. Obviously, I'm glad we could still do it, but I miss it, innit? Like, doing it there. But anyway, I hope everyone's coping well with isolation, whether they're working from home or not. But let's get in to the football talk. You feel me? Where do you want to start with this? I seen it today. What was it? The World Cup style the World Cup style thing they're going to try to finish the season off. I personally don't think it's going to work with this going on because they're acting like football is just the 22 guys on the pitch, but you have managers, you have staff, you have commentators or TV rights. You have it's a minimum 3 digits amount of people. Like it's a minimum 100 people. How are you going to keep all these under quarantine, traveling and things of that nature? I don't. So, what do you man think?
No, I can tell you how to. So basically, from what I've been reading and stuff like that, is the reason why it's a World Cup style is because they're going to be doing it. All the games are going to be held at a neutral place, which is looking like it's going to be St James's Park. So where England train, they've got the 12 pitches, they've got all the different facilities, they've got the different rooms. So essentially, what it's going to be is each team is going to have their own section. So they're going to be staying there for a few weeks, regularly tested for coronavirus. Referees are regularly tested. Broadcasters will also be regularly tested, and they will, by the looks of things, be staying somewhere on site as well, which is why they're doing it as a World Cup style, because the problem is there's been a lot of numbers and digits thrown about. So the actual confirmed number is if the Premier League fail to complete this season, it's going to cost them 1.5 billion overall. which is TV rights first and foremost.
Yeah.
For failing to fulfill the games.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue. There's incentive bonuses. So the overall figure is sitting at worst case scenario is 1.5 million. Best case scenario is 1.2 billion. Still not great.
Just a little bit more than Brent City then, yeah?
Say that again. Say that again.
Much. So yeah,
just a little City.
So yeah, they're doing everything to make sure they can get this season finished, because they're going to be in it. Because it is the problem, and certain people have touched upon it, is you've got teams like Bournemouth, who depend on TV rights to financially keep them afloat. Teams like Southampton, Norwich, Watford, they need that kind of revenue. So as much as it's a lot of people are like, I'll just null and void the season, financially they can't, because one, who's going to bail out the likes of Bournemouth if push comes to shove?
Yeah.
And then it trickles all the way down to the EFL as well. So it's like, who's going to, because obviously we touched upon this previously, it's who's going to bail out certain teams when, because they plan within a 6-month schedule, so they'll plan 6 months ahead. So as we mentioned, FA Cup games can have a massive impact on their year. They go through one round, you know what I mean? So it's like, obviously it's unprecedented. This is something probably I hope we'll never go through again, but it's just fascinating to see all the little things unfolding. Everyone's panicking because it's a massive thing, and they know they need to get the season finished for obvious reasons. And UEFA have come out and said that if the Premier League do null and void the season, we won't be seeing any English teams in the Champions League.
Whoa, see that? That's heavy implications. I think, I think the season will be finished, but this whole World Cup style, I think they should just wait and just push it back. Obviously, I know because nothing else is happening. They should wait and just push it back. That's probably the best option, rather than just, because I know lower league, they null and voided all their seasons. But it's like you can't. As much as I want them to kind of null and void the season so Liverpool don't win the title, they can't null and void the season. I don't know why they just don't wait 2-3 months. Unless there's a time, is there a deadline on it that I don't know about?
UEFA basically try putting a deadline on it. So basically saying that they want seasons to be finished by the end of July. So the plan for the Premier League is to start July 1st and it runs to the end of July. So all 92 games which are due to be played. Yeah. So that's basically
ain't that 3 games in a week or something like that?
Yeah, but it's Christmas period.
Well, 3 games. That's 3 games in that week for the whole month, isn't it?
But it's a Christmas period, so it's just exactly like going through December.
Yeah, that's wild still.
Yeah, no, it is wild, but this is how much pressure they're under because they have to get the season finished. And from what obviously the people are saying about coronavirus and we've not hit our peak yet, April was never going to be an option. That was just something just to keep everyone, look, this is what we're doing. Because obviously Gary Neville came out and criticised the fact that no one had a spine at Premier League, which is true. Is they should have acted quickly enough. Like the fact that we played the Champions League game against Atletico Madrid and there was thousands in attendance is a joke.
There you go.
So I don't know
Spanish people.
Yeah, so exactly. So I don't know who the fuck allowed that, but it's crazy. Mad implications on this season. And
what you see, here's the mad thing with that plan. Yeah, you're saying it's like the Christmas period. Yeah. That's to save this season. That's in July. Yeah.
No.
Right. The next season's a write-off. The next season is the beginning of next season is a write-off. Because these men are gonna have what time off? Yeah. And fair enough, they've had time off now. But if they do that, like a Christmas period, a December fixtures, at that time, after having this time off, after probably coming back being rusty, then playing all those games, probably gonna get injuries, yeah. Then the start of next season is going to be short. Putting it short is going to be messy. It's not going to. That will have big implications on next season. I won't be surprised if next season someone wins that who's probably not in the running. Could be another Leicester type situation.
It is funny you touch upon that because there's 2 options about next season which I've read, and obviously I've been keeping a daily eye on it because I just want to see how they're planning to move with it, and I'll come on to one of the reasons why in a minute, because there's been a massive thing go down for the non-league teams, which I'll touch upon in a second. But so basically, one of the things that has been discussed is talking about just playing 19 games next season. So some teams will play 10 games at home, 9 games away. Some teams will play 10 games away, 9 games at home to shorten it, or which is ludicrous, and I don't think it's ever going to work. But what the actual plan is, if they go ahead, if they go ahead with the July to the end of July, you then get August off.
Yeah.
Halfway through September off. They're going to scrap international friendlies.
Yeah,
for the first
I agree with that. That's one thing. If that happens throughout this, I'm all for that.
So they're going to scrap international friendlies till closer to November and do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably get rid of the international or like we had like a Christmas break on January. They'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because then they can cram in the more cup games and stuff like that. And they're talking about potentially reducing, for example, like FA Cup replays. If you draw it, it'll just go straight to penalties. Carabao Cup, for example, they're just talking about having a 1-leg semi-final. So they're tweaking with so many things because they're being criticised from everywhere. Like, for those who follow YouTube football, obviously #United are now a non-league team.
Yeah.
And basically, obviously, you all seen the news. They came out and everything from the 7th tier below has just been declared null and void. Now, some people have already won the title before then. So there's been a massive letter and complaint that's gone into the FA today with about 70 clubs signed by the chairman, basically saying there's no way you can declare the season null and void. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
There's ramifications that got all the way because obviously some of them, like we said, financially need that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty much life or death for some of those clubs. Like obviously clubs like United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea can survive without revenue, but like gate receipts and things of that nature, like you say, clubs do depend on that. Even clubs, not even necessarily lower league clubs. We talking like you mentioned right at the start of the show. Premier League clubs, you get me? Your Norwiches, your Bournemouths, Southamptons, etc. rely on this. I actually do like the idea of the World Cup style thing, but I just think they don't need to rush that. There's no need for it to be 3 games. I mean, 3 games a week for a whole month. I'm like, stretch it out. I'm all for the work, making the base, having the base, having all the players, all the staff, all the commentators, everybody involved with it on a solitary base somewhere. I'm all with that. Everybody plays at 1 or 2 stadiums in close proximity. I'm all for that. I just don't think they should rush it. And plus, these players have to get fit anyway. They forget that. Go on.
I think it's been rushed because, like you said before, is there a deadline? We don't know, but there probably is. But I also think there's a deadline. You have to think, yeah, as much as they tell you FA and UEFA or whoever runs football,
Yeah,
I'd say nowadays who runs football very much is Sky and BT. They have a very big say. They have a very, very big say in the football and the fixtures. You know what I mean? They'll show certain teams on certain times. You have 3 kickoffs on a Sunday, 4 kickoffs on a Sunday for Super Sunday. That's just for TV viewing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These man put a lot of it. So it won't surprise me if they have to fulfill their contracts. I think we even had we even spoke about this after one of our last shows, just those 3. And I think it is that they have to fulfill it. They have to fulfill to the customers. You, as the customers, you've paid for a certain, you paid for a contract, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've literally paid for a certain amount of games at season. If you don't get that by a certain time, it's null and void. So then they're customers money. So they don't want to be owing everyone money. Do you get what I mean? So
I thoroughly hear what you're saying.
As much as they're contracting to make a lot of money off these players, these clubs, it's not their how can I put it? If these players then go and get injured and the next season doesn't run as smooth, they're not bothered as long as they've got games to show.
True that. They're looking at it as long as fixtures are on, it can run. I hear what you're saying. But the thing is with these deadlines, if everyone's, here's the thing, what repercussion are, say, UEFA, for instance, going to give if England, Italy, Spain, Germany all refuse to play? They're not going to have all those teams not in the Champions League. They're not going to do that because then that devalues their competition. They're not going to do that. If they all bond together, which could possibly happen, because obviously everyone wants a solution for this, but as with football, it seems like the governing bodies don't have a clue. That's what I'm guessing from. We already knew this. This just backs up that fact to me, anyway.
It's one of them.
Right.
You are right. It's one of them. It's a weird one, but at the same time, we say UEFA, but we already know like the Spanish and UEFA are kind of like, you know, brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, to be honest, I think everyone will get a heads up except for England. You know what I mean?
You reckon I'll give ever? That's a possibility.
Well, with it all this behind closed doors. If you see like Italy, how Italy's been hit with it, it ain't starting back up anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like no chance of Italy being hit with it. I mean, starting up anything anytime soon. So what they're gonna say to the Italian clubs, like, oh, you have to do it by the end of July or by the end of August, when it's not probable for them clubs in the slightest.
You see, when United that we had that Europa League game what we played behind closed doors, innit?
Yeah.
That last game.
Yeah.
Round of games, I think it was Sevilla were due to play Roma. Yeah. And I can't remember which way round it was. But either Sevilla flew to Roma or
Roma flew to Sevilla, and the Spanish borders basically turned and went, "No, you're not landing. You need to fly back."
Not landing. The Spanish government said you ain't landing that plane.
There you go, innit? You go.
That's above football. Man can say FA, but when it's government, that's above. You know what I'm saying?
It's above football.
When it's coming to that, it's one of them. It's like we've even said before. It's the root cause of all these problems. We're all talking about fixtures and this and that. And it's bigger than football. This is why, as much as I would love to see everything back up and running, I think there's a lot of these people who are saying this is going to happen and that's going to happen. They're saying that out of willing. They want it to happen. But looking at the real bottom line, bro, you can't come out your house in Italy. How can man tell you there's going to be football games? The television is going to be coming out our house soon. So, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, spot
on. Until these countries, what we're all talking about. So, your England, your Spain, your Italy, your France, you know, the big countries that make up the Champions League, yeah?
Yeah.
Until the whole quarantine situation is over in those countries, then what these men are saying can be taken realistically. Otherwise, what's it called? They're just saying what you want. They're just saying what they want people to hear, innit?
No,
you know what I mean?
That's exactly how I look at it. Like they're saying, and like you stated there, the most important thing I got from what you just stated there was it's above football. We're talking government. Like you said, man are talking about playing football when the government's like, you can't come out of your house. So it's like, how is that going to run? Like you can't be enforcing rules and deadlines when there is no deadline. No one's saying in Italy, right, by the end of July, everyone's going to be out of isolation. We don't even know over here in the UK. I've heard very different things. I've heard 3 weeks. I've heard 3 months. I've heard it could be Christmas. Like there's so many different things. We simply don't know.
Exactly, bro. I went shopping the other day. They're letting 10 people in the shop at a time. How we have 22 man running around on the pitch? Then managers, coaches. No, bro. You get me? I'm realistic,
That's
bro.
not happening. It's true.
10 man in the shopping center at a time, bro. This thing can hold hundreds of people. Yeah. So you tell me when you got your stadium and it can hold 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. They're not letting 100 people in there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear exactly what you're saying. Like that's very, very true. So let's hope, obviously, us three as football fans and football fans around the world. Obviously, we want a solution so we can start seeing a football again. And we want a solution so everyone can start living life again. Or this just slow down everything. Look at us doing the show like this. Like it really has slowed down everything for everyone, and everyone's been affected by it. But let's move on to Harry Kane's comments. He was on. And we spoke about this on a previous show. This is something we do regular, where we were talking about how our players gonna react, what our players gonna say, and how our players gonna react. And we were talking about players whose contracts were running down. But this is Harry Kane, who's injured. Well, his contract's not up. There was no speculation. There was no major speculation surrounding him. But then he's on Instagram. He's on Instagram Live, and then he said, "What was it exactly?" I don't want to take the word, but he basically stated if he doesn't know, he's going to be at Spurs. That's what it is.
No, so basically, what he said was he's not going to stay at Spurs for the sake of it. Is if they don't show any ambition and drive to take another step forward, then he's not just going to stay there for the sake of it.
Okay, so I want to get into this. Then I don't want to make this about him, but he is a hot topic. If Paul Pogba says that, this is a different situation. Harry Kane says that, and Harry Kane says that, and no one's outraged.
Brother.
No one's outraged. I'm just saying, innit? If Pogba says that, that's a different thing. You get me? We having a different conversation.
If Paul Pogba said that at 5 in the morning, 6 a.m., soonest live stream from his back, yeah, live stream, bro. Man will be on Sky Sports with a cup of tea in his dressing gown, telling you how guys cancel, yeah, to United, yeah. And you know why it doesn't think it? Because Harry Kane is the darling of English football.
He's the media darling, yes. He's the media darling.
There's another factor that plays into it as well.
Yeah, go on.
Because of the fact that he's at Tottenham. So
you reckon? So that adds into it too? Because
that plays a big factor. Yeah. I agree with what you're saying, but for me, as soon as I heard it and the fact that it's not got much of a response, it was like, oh yeah, it's Tottenham. You can understand why. Whereas if he was to come out and say that United, everyone would be like, well, wait a minute, you're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, what are you talking about? Like, United do have ambition.
Now, but see what it is as well.
Go on.
Not daft. It's like, man, what by saying that, yeah, what he's done,
go on, there we go.
Announce his ears, yeah. So then people who are looking at striker now, let's just play devil's advocate. You're Real Madrid are going, oh, okay. You're United, because you see he's been linked with United recently.
Very recently with United, yeah. I legit don't want him, but that's just me. But we'll get into that.
Everyone's now saying, oh, it's not paper talk. That's what he's done, because he's realized, he said this. No, he's realized it's paper talk and it's going about. He knows by him saying this now, he has awoken certain people and, got their attention. Let me put it like that. Yeah. And then so he's basically doing, what we talked about on that previous show, where his agent is now like, okay, right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. You get what I mean?
That's
and
exactly what.
this can either go one or two ways. It can be the classical, I forced my way out for a move, or it can be a classic, add me an extra 100 for my contract, Tottenham.
That's true. That's true. For me, I just think what he's done with the comments, like you stated there, it has put himself in the shop window.
Yeah,
normally he has definitely put, and I have no issue with him putting himself in the shop window because what he actually said wasn't wrong. He wants Spurs to match his ambition. Harry Kane is in, if you don't believe he's the best striker in the Premier League, he's in your top 3, you feel me? He's been one of the most consistent when it comes to scoring goals. Excellent striker. Nobody disputes that. He is top 3. Most people have him top 3. Why are you telling me most people don't have him top 3 strong? Am I lying? Wait, this way, I have him in. Do I have him in my top 3? That's a great question. I don't think he's better than Aguero, and I don't think he's better than Firmino. But then after them, I'm putting him in.
He's not favorable, but if you look at his numbers, it's undeniable. He's 25 goals. All right, it might not be 25 Prem goals, but he's 25 goals in all competitions a season for the past 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. You can't argue with his consistency. The only issue I have with him is his injury record. He does seem like he's injury prone.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Say that again. Say that again, JP. You're breaking up a little bit. Say that again.
He's not someone I'd want to pay 100 mil for.
This is what I'm saying.
You'd pay that big money for him, and how much would you then see him that next season?
Yeah, because it seems, if I'm not mistaken, obviously Spurs fans watching will be able to elaborate more, but it seems to me every season, even though he's had good seasons, great seasons, and scored plenty of goals, he seems to get a major injury where he's out for 2 months. Or 3 months. Like, it's a significant amount of time. It's not, he got a knock and he's out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he misses like 10, 15 games every season.
That's what I'm saying. And that could be, if you're at a top club chasing top honours, that could be the difference between missing out on a Premier League title, a Champions League.
He nearly missed the final.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Champions League, like he was injured, and they played him in the Champions League final. They never should have played him because he wasn't fit.
Should have played him. Poch made an error there. Never should have played him. Never.
Injury record arguably cost them the final. A fit Harry Kane, 100% fit Harry Kane. That's a different game.
That's true. Because definitely. Go on.
Kane gets one chance. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's that type of player. I always make fun of him, like with his fitness and his running, and he's not the fastest. But I know if he gets a clear-cut chance through on goal, it's like 90% chance he's going to score.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he gives them. He's the difference maker for them. Like, he is their. We talk about talisman. Like, he's their talisman in it. Like, that is a whole different game. Like, him being a fully fit 100% Harry Kane gives everyone in the Spurs team in that 11 in that final a lift. Because it's like, all right, we have him here. We know if we get battered, but we get one chance and it drops to him. He'll probably score or he'll probably create something. That's what he is. He's a difference maker like that, especially when he's your talisman. But yeah, for me, he just put himself in the shop window. And
I just don't know where he can go, though.
That's a great point. Depends.
Because let's be honest. But Real Madrid aren't going to go sniffing for him.
Not if they're going to get... For some reason, I see them going in for Mbappe, innit?
Bro, you know where he's going to go in it. If he goes anywhere, where to buy him? United are going to be stupid enough to buy him. Yeah?
Definitely. Think he would definitely buy him. Ollie would definitely buy him. He fits Ollie's mold 1,000%. Say again. Say that again. You broke up a little bit.
Would buy him. Not Ollie, brother. He's not. He's not.
But Ollie would definitely, like, I could see Ollie fully being on board because he fits the Manchester United mold that Ollie likes. Hard-working, down to earth, English. Like, you could see it already. Scores. It stays in between the sticks. Scores ugly goals. He's a throwback number 9.
But saying that, as much as I don't like him, Harry Kane with someone like Bruno Fernandes giving him the service, and maybe if he's there, a Paul Pogba giving him the service, that's a different kettle of fish.
That's true.
He's going to get you goals. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I'm not going to lie. I don't want him because I want to see Martial as United's number 9. So that's why I wouldn't want him.
I don't want him simply because our best football is played with pace.
That's true.
You get him, it undermines everything, all the good work from this season. You go back to that panic by Ibrahimovic, that don't fit the mold striker. Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
a perfect striker for us is someone who can finish and has pace. That's always if we've had a striker who's not had pace, the only times we've had that is when he's played with someone in a two. So you had your Berbatov and your Rooney. Do you know what I mean? Or you Sheringham and your Cole, you're Sheringham or your York, or you're Sheringham and your Soul. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I fully understand what you're saying, and then if not, the movement from the wide players has to be like that. Because even Van Persie wasn't the quickest, but then because Van Persie was at such a level he was at, it's like, all right, we understand that. And he had great movement around him.
Yeah, movement and positioning is different. But if we were to do that, then it's a big backtrack on this season. You get what I'm saying? But back to the point of him putting himself out there, I think it's done purposefully. Simply because just look who's just gone there.
Mourinho. Yeah. He's thinking.
We said this. We said that their best players will make up their minds on Jose. Yeah. Jose is, as we've already said and discussed, he's done Harry Kane and a Jose Mourinho. This, for that to work, it would have had to have worked straight away.
Yeah.
Why? I think that's how it is with Joe. If it don't work straight away, if it's not an instant marriage, it's done. You know what I mean? He's in there. He seemed to get Dele Alli going, so Dele Alli's his guy. No, that's his guy.
Yeah. That's true. Well, that being said, if he's looking at it, probably looks at him, look at the team and be like, Mourinho probably won't be here much longer. Because Stroh made a great point. Where does he actually go? Like, take United off the table, because we are definitely a possibility. I don't see City buying him. I don't see Chelsea being able to afford him.
I don't know.
You reckon Chelsea could afford him? They do need a 9, but I don't know if Chelsea can afford him.
It wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea made a move.
If Chelsea did make a move, that's the most logical one, because they do need a 9. I just don't think Spurs, you know what Levy's like, if he's selling to Chelsea as well, the Spurs fans will riot. So it would have to be a world record for you talking. And I don't see Chelsea shelling out 150 million, 120 million, 180 million for Harry Kane.
All right then, but let me put it to you like this. Yeah. Remember when Chelsea got Torres? No one seen that coming.
True. That's true. That's true. That's a fair point. Yeah. That's true.
Chelsea already, they can pull them ones out the bag. Actually, Cole.
Yeah.
They can do them shockers. It's not like back in the day. It's like us when we got Van Persie. No one seen that coming. No one seen that coming.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's getting more like Serie A in the Prem, where they'll sell.
They'll sell to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll sell to each other because they'll then try and reinvest that money. Look, I think they won't be too scared to sell him. They sold Bale and they kind of recovered from it.
But the thing is, I see the difference in selling Bale is, obviously they got a big fee for him, but he sold him to Real Madrid. Like, I think if they sold Kane to Madrid, even though Spurs fans would be upset, I think they'd understand it is Real Madrid. But to go to
bro,
go on,
Italy, suit it down to a T.
The game would, but again, who in Serie A could afford him?
I could say about Bayern.
We talking a world record fee. Maybe Bayern. Bayern makes sense because Lewandowski's coming to the end.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it.
Because then I'm looking at what teams can afford him, because we're talking, to me, Harry Kane, if Spurs decide to sell him, is a minimum 120 million.
And I can afford him.
Even this one. Check this one. PSG, they're looking to get rid of Cavani. That wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think
name in the hat for anyone, whether they suit you or not. They're like, oh, I'll have him. You know what I mean? Whether it suits their playing style or not, any big player, they throw the name in the hat. Because remember, Icardi's only on loan there as well.
I don't know if Harry Kane is. We talk about like the hierarchies. We talk about Woodbridge United just signing players. I don't think the hierarchy at PSG are looking at Kane. Don't think he's not good enough, but I just don't believe he is. It sounds stupid, but an exotic enough name to go and be your marquee money signing to go and win the Champions League.
And that's why I don't think Real Madrid would get him.
I don't think he fits the mold at Madrid. I can see a Madrid going for an Mbappe and Neymar, except that type of
Yeah, because the shirt
even a,
sellers.
even a Jadon Sancho, he fits the mold more for me going to a PSG or Real Madrid rather than a Harry Kane. I'm not saying obviously they're different players and they play in different positions, but Sancho fits that mold. Like someone put out a tweet and Sancho scored. You all know this show. He scored a screamer at the Bernabeu, if I'm not mistaken. And then someone was like, it might have been you, Bill's talking about it actually on a previous show, and you was like, you don't score a goal like that at the Bernabeu, and someone's not talking to you. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, yeah. And I seen the goal after you mentioned it. And I was like, that's a fact. Yeah, the goal was a banger. So like that makes sense. But
no president or someone or the at Madrid tried to get the word with him in the tunnel after that, bro. So they do it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But you look at the Real Madrid thing. You look at the only other Englishman they've had who played striker was Michael Owen. Now, put a bit of context behind Michael Owen and Harry Kane. Michael Owen was a Ballon d'Or winner.
True.
He single-handedly just won us the FA Cup with his 2 goals against Arsenal. Top goal scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He was the best striker in the world at the time. That makes perfect sense because he was a shirt seller.
Yeah.
Him and David Beckham, they were onto something.
Shirt sellers, yeah.
Harry Kane's not a shirt seller.
Yeah, to me, he doesn't have enough. Yeah, he doesn't have enough off the field success, which shouldn't matter, to go to a Madrid. I think if he was a massive shirt seller and was like a big prize off the field, then a Real Madrid would go in for him or Barcelona. But because he's not, they're looking at it like, all right, let's go and get somebody else.
You know what it is? He's not got that galactical quality, has he?
There you go.
He lacks it. He lacks that galactical quality. And that's no disrespect to his skill level because we rate him, most people rate him highly as a striker. Like, look at his goal record, phenomenal. But in terms of being a galactical, they'd rather go and get a Neymar, an Mbappe, a Sancho. These type of players fit that type of mold. Whereas he just doesn't.
You know another team? Go
on, where?
This is like a wild card, but I think Madrid.
Again, he fits the mold in terms of their play, but I don't know about Atletico in terms of their sales. Like, I don't know what their world record fee is, but I don't know if they'd be willing to pay the money, or if they have the money, they got bread. I don't know.
To be fair, Atletico Madrid, they just got Trippier as well.
Go on, say again, fam.
João Felix.
How much is João Felix?
120.
Does he want cheese? Okay, maybe then. Maybe. Was that Griezmann money though?
Yeah, that was Griezmann money. But at the same time, if you're stumping that up, even, you know what I'm saying?
You're willing to pay it if it's there.
Trippier, look, Kieran Trippier just gone there.
Trippier, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Little connection, English thing. You never know.
It makes sense.
Football's funny. You get what I'm saying?
It makes sense. I think, like I said, the thing that will stop him from moving is Spurs pricing him out of a move because we know what Daniel Levy's like. He wants top dollar for average players, so he's going to want top dollar for their best player in his eyes and their most prized asset. Daniel Levy's going to want, like I said, you're talking a minimum 150 million. That's what you're talking. Even if, say, for instance, Harry Kane comes out and kicks up a fuss, which doesn't seem like him, we're still talking excess of 120 million. And then it's like, who's going to stump up the cash on a very good striker, but him being injury prone? But we'll soon find out.
I didn't see that one coming, that he's made that comment.
Nah, I didn't. I was extremely shocked because he is not like that. Like, I don't remember him saying too much in general. Like, he's very careful about what he says when he's in interviews.
Type it on, did he see it?
He said it was on an Instagram live.
Yeah, I tagged Flawless in it. As soon as I seen it, I was like,
oh, I need to see that because his voice is so funny, I need to see that.
Yeah, if you just Google that, it will pop up because it was on his Instagram live. Say again.
You'll be like, I want to leave top then.
All right, so let's talk on. Well, we're on contract. Let's stay in London because we're on contracts because this is another one that we had mentioned previously. We'll talk on this briefly. Pedro's contract statement, where Pedro he didn't say it, but what he basically said was, "My contract's up. I'ma leave Chelsea." Well, then he followed that up by saying, I hope everybody survives the coronavirus. And I was like, this is wild because this is before he said this. I think this was before we actually went into isolation. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, no, his words were, he was like, look, my contract's up. I'm not going to stay at Chelsea beyond my contract, but there's some things that are more important at the moment, and making sure everyone's safe is more important. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But it's one of them where he's not getting game time, and he's at that age in his career now where he was part of that front three, which was phenomenal at Barcelona. He's gone to Chelsea. His career's dwindled since then. So it's like, where can he go? Potentially to a PSG, potentially to China and make a load of money. His career in the Premier League's done.
Yeah, it is done. You right. You ain't lying. It's more so. My phone on charge. Like,
it's the timing of it.
He didn't have to come. He didn't have to come out and say that. Like, it looked like he was on his way out anyway. A Spanish team is definitely gonna come in for Pedro. And Pedro's not gonna be out of a club. Somebody will sign him. Somebody will say. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, why come out and say that? It's not like you're straight. It's not like you're in a Harry Kane situation. It's like you've had a successful career. You've won. You've got loads of wins. You've got plenty of winners' medals. You've won World Cups. You've won Champions Leagues. You've won La Ligas. As he's probably Chelsea always winning trophies. He's probably won something at Chelsea that I can't think of, like a FA Cup or something of that nature. That's what I'm saying.
Won the league?
Was he there when they won the league?
Won the league, Europa League.
Yeah, like
FA
Cup
final when Hazard scored the penalty.
Right, yeah, you said, see that? Because United lost that. I always erase United losses from my memory, especially final losses. Always erase them. Yeah, go on.
Last year, the year before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's won plenty, so it's like you're not in a position where you're going to be wanting for a new club. Somebody is going to sign Pedro. But yeah, I just thought we'd bring that up. Say again.
I just think that was mad disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, but it is. It's extremely disrespectful.
With what's going on in the world, yeah? And then to drop the corona thing at the end, mad. It's like he almost said it and then thought, yeah, I got to cover this one up. Yeah, corona will get better. Nah, but you know what it goes back to this, yeah? I've said this for a while. A lot of these foreign players come here for the money. They have no respect for the English Premier League standard. I say that straight up. Whether it's the biggest teams, Chelsea's a huge team, you know. Whatever team he's going to go to, he's going to be a smaller team than Chelsea.
That's true. I don't see him having to step up. That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
The biggest team he could probably go to is Atletico Madrid or something, and he probably won't start there every game either.
Nah, he wouldn't. I think his career was a starter at a Chelsea team level or above. That's done. He'd have to drop down to be starting 11. He'd have to go to a mid-table to higher. Yeah, a mid-table team or a team challenging for the Europa League-esque to start. You'd have to go to a Sevilla type team or Valencia that Stroh mentioned. One of those type of. He's not going back to Barcelona and starting. Like it's not.
No. He goes to like a Napoli or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not happening. Like it's not happening. Him going to that. Well, yeah, it was mad disrespect. It was very disrespectful, and the fact that he started the statement with that and then ended with the Corona thing. He didn't even start with the Corona thing and then talk about himself. He got his contract bars off and then was like, all right, let me just follow up with this.
Yeah, it's like he just clocked in his head. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But you know what that shows as well? It's see with Chelsea, I don't know with Chelsea.
Go on.
The whole transfer ban and this last season and that, they're not as much of a force as they was.
Not at all. We spoke on this though. Like we did a show again, and we spoke about how Chelsea's front three is lackluster for the first time in probably since Abramovich took over. This has been the worst Chelsea attack that I've seen. Yeah, I'd say that the worst Chelsea attacking options have been, and I include in that the attacking midfielders and the strikers and wingers that it's been since Abramovich took over. Like there's no stardust whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Like when Abramovich took over, they had Robin. Yeah, they had who was flying winger. Like he was a threat constantly. Like you knew what he was going to do, but he always did it. Scored so many late goals. Could play from the right. Could play from the left. Obviously, we know all about Drogba. One of the best. To me, definitely one of the best the most impactful strikers I've ever seen in the Premier League in terms
They had
of
Joe
scoring.
Cole in his prime.
Yeah, scoring important goals. You had Joe Cole. Behind that, obviously following up, you had Lampard there, who scored. Yeah, he was a
Duff,
midfielder scoring 20 goals. Say again.
man, like Duff, Damien
Yeah,
Duff.
Yeah, that's what I was
they had
about to
Duff.
say, Damien Duff.
Yeah, they had Duff. This is what I'm saying. They had Diego Costa. People forget Loic Remy was their backup striker. Like, so they've had Hazards, but it's kind of like they had even Oscar. They had Juan Mata when he was Juan Mata.
Yeah,
People forget this. They had Juan Mata when he was Juan Mata. Like,
real one matter in it.
yeah, like people forget this. So seeing their front three like that now, it is very lackluster. But it is what it is. But let's move on to before we wrap up the show.
2 more things. So
Yeah, you're gonna go with the City one.
no, we'll do that one last.
Okay.
But
You know,
I've just literally read something. So this is so obviously Barcelona bought Coutinho, 142 million.
Yeah.
Now Barcelona still owe Liverpool about 100 million of that. So last season there was talks of them just giving us Coutinho back, and Klopp put a stop to it. And basically Coutinho's come out in an interview or in his book or basically saying that, look, it was the worst mistake he ever made leaving Liverpool. He thought that he was going to come back to Liverpool next season or this season, but it's been put a stop to again. And now he's devastated because he doesn't know where he's going to turn to. So it's like, so for me, I remember when he was leaving, Klopp made a comment of, look, you will be another player there. You stay here and you win the league with us. They'll have a statue for you outside. It's bigger than that. And I remember when we were the club where we were a stepping stone, and now it feels like the tides have turned and we're that stepping stone. And when you get your stuff in together, you are the stepping stone. Like, regardless, you're Manchester United, doesn't matter how bad you're doing, players still want to play for you because you're Manchester United.
Yeah.
So I just found it just fascinating because, like, you've seen so many bad transfers over the years. Like, it was just a wild thing to read before, and I was like.
So my comment on that is, obviously Liverpool being the best side in the world, I really think if I put aside, or if I put myself from a Liverpool fan aspect, and I take away the petty side of him leaving, if you bring him back, to me, that is the missing piece of the jigsaw, because he would be a midfielder that you don't have. Because I think Liverpool's 11 is fantastic. I think goalkeeper's great. Your back four is fantastic. You know how much of a big fan of Fabinho I am. Your front three is crazy. We know how great Liverpool's front three is. You put Coutinho behind that front three with a Fabinho and a Henderson behind him in a 4-2-3-1. Put it this way, you put Coutinho in the side that lost the league last season. You not win that league. He gives you 5-10 goals or a couple assists to do that. To me, he's the missing piece. Now, if Klopp is like, I don't want to bring Coutinho back for personal reasons, I kind of understand that. But to me, I'm like, all right, I told you this, you made an error. I'm having you back because together we're gonna be successful. That's just me though. Go on, Vils. What are you saying?
I think you're right. You're right on that one. And I think it's a bit of pettiness not bringing him back. It's petty. Bringing him back, petty. I'm telling you now, if United's best player of the past few years, okay, throw it up, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
If he went Madrid 2 seasons, we didn't like. No one really liked how he left, but we let him go in it.
Yeah.
He did 2 seasons, said he's coming back. We got all right, bro. Yeah. But when I booked that flight for you now. You know what I'm saying? I think it's because Klopp has said that to him, and he's gone. But I also think it ties in with what I just said about Pedro. I honestly think that is because they don't respect our league. I think he's only saying that now because of his success.
Which is true.
He's only saying that now, Coutinho. Yeah, it's a mistake because they're doing bits now.
Yeah, he got it wrong, which in his way that's big of Coutinho to do that, because he could have easily just stayed quiet on it. But that's big of him to be like, right, Klopp was spot on.
Well, no, not even that is. So basically, I knew he was never coming back, no matter how much he spoke about it, because of the fact that he faked an injury. Klopp knew he faked an injury, and then forced his way out. Like, Klopp's one of them. You see how close he is with the players and stuff like that. Like, he takes you in on a personal level. Like, I've spoke to you about this so many times. Like, when he first took over the club, he got all the staff in Melwood in the room and was like, right, you're all going to know their names now because they do everything behind the scenes for you. Now it's time to start acting like a family. And he's got that family bond to it. So when someone does something like that, he takes it personally. So I knew he was never going to come back anyway. But, like, the comment that made me laugh was when he left, he was, I'm leaving because I want to win the Champions League. Funny that. Because weren't you in the Barcelona team that was 3-0 up? And you had Champions League in your hands.
Yeah. It's a fair point.
So he's 100% right. He's only saying that because of the success, because he sat back in that changing room at Anfield and he thought, I'm in the wrong changing room here.
He is.
I've messed up big time.
It's facts, because football is, to me personally, if you want to be as successful as you can be in football management, I don't think you can be petty and have personal grudges to an extent, because it will, what's the word I'm looking for? It will stop, you can still be successful with it, but it will block certain things. Because to me, getting Coutinho back makes, from a footballing perspective, forget all the other side shit that's happened, from a footballing perspective, getting Coutinho back in that Liverpool side makes you a better team. And I think it does the one thing that many players couldn't do in that side is, I think it makes many additions to that Liverpool team is, it makes your first 11 better. I don't think there's many footballers in world football you can take and put in that Liverpool side and it makes your first 11 better. I think he makes your first 11 better. Clearly. I don't think it's up for debate. Like, other players you can debate. You can take, say, a Neymar and compare Neymar and Mane and say who's better. To me, with Coutinho, it's not a debate, but that's just me, though.
The one thing, or the point I wanted to touch on when I mentioned the whole Coutinho thing, is because it's like, we're talking about Harry Kane leaving and stuff like that, and obviously there's going to be, God knows how they're going to do it, but the transfer window and stuff like that. But that transfer alone just shows to me that if you're at a Manchester United, biggest club in the world, if you're at a Liverpool, grass isn't always greener.
That's true.
Of course.
The grass isn't always greener. There's crap in every field. That's what it is. And I understand, with how I am as a person, I understand why Klopp wouldn't want him back. Because if I take that out of footballing perspective, I wouldn't want him back. Because I look at it like, yo, you're with a woman, she wants to leave and go for next dude because she thinks things greener. It goes west over there, then she wants to come back. Obviously,
but this has ruined his career.
Yeah, but like in football terms, I can forgive that because there's more trophies to be had. And like I stated again, I think he improves your first 11, which I don't think there is many players I can say clearly do that. But I think Coutinho is 1,000% one. And I don't think he has to settle in either. That adds into the whole mix. But that's just me personally. Go on, Bill. What are you saying?
If you look at, a lot of these players who leave the Prem over the last few years, who's left a big team, a big English team, how many of these players have had a better career at these bigger Spanish teams? There's not many. The only one I could say, all right, then Liverpool, let me think. Torres left, flopped, yeah? So, all right, then Suarez, he's probably the one, I'd say. He might be falling off now, but he had some gold. He's left Liverpool, he had some golden years, yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah? I'd say out of everyone who's left United.
Look at Hazard now. Look at Hazard now.
Hazard, that's a fact. Fell off, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hazard flopped. Everyone who's left United over the past few flopped. Do you get what I mean? Our biggest player that we've lost, that we've hurt, as I keep going back to, everyone knows, is Ronaldo.
It's because of that. Before we close, say that last bit again. You broke up a little bit there.
Everyone who's left since Ronaldo. Yeah. It's like, all right, okay. And then
it's because the cycle stopped. So what happened was we had the cycle where it happens in Europe all the time throughout our lifetimes, where you'll have the English teams are dominant, or the Spanish teams, or the German teams, or the Italian teams. When people was leaving the Ronaldo years, when players was leaving from over here and going over to Spain because they was the better sides, they was having the success. We lost Ronaldo. Liverpool lost Mascherano to Barcelona. Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid. Both had successful careers. Suarez was, like you mentioned, he was probably the last one. But now the cycle's gone again. where players that are going over there now are not being successful. I know Gary Neville did a bit on it. Gareth Bale went to Spurs. That was around that time as well. There's more where players left during that period and they were having success, but now it's turned, the cycle's turned, so you want to be over here now. Because like we said, Hazard, who was one of the best players in the Premier League over the past however many years he was here, fell off a cliff. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Coutinho go over there, and you don't even hear from him. You don't even like, wow, Coutinho scored a brace today against Levante or something like that. You don't hear nothing. Like Hazard, I don't hear nothing. Like absolute zero about him. But yeah, the cycle will come again. The cycle will happen again.
I think it is now.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Give it all right. The next season, well, I wasn't fit.
Yeah, depends on what's going on. This coronavirus has thrown a spanner in the works of everything. It's really stopped the natural course of everything. It's been thrown up. Like everything's been flipped on its head now, turned upside down.
Do you know what I was thinking though the other day?
Do
you know what this whole could bring in? Because someone was saying to me, the transfers are going to be hard because it's going to be the whole monetary systems everywhere. The pounds falling, euros falling, rah. What we could actually see though over the next few years is everyone turning back to academies, and we could see some really good youth come through, like we did before the mega bucks came into football.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where the big teams relied on their academies, because if you look at every big team has got a world-class academy. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Just they tend to buy players.
Yeah, because they spend a lot of teams do spend a hell of a lot of money on academies, especially your bigger clubs. Especially when you think not only do they have under 23s, they have an age group for every age. Like teams are picking up players from 4 or 5 years old. This man's only been walking 2 years. A man so it's like if you take a player who's from 5 years old and all the way to say he gets to 18. How many years that is, or even let's say 20. That's 15 years. So that's 15 years of travel. That's 15 years of monitoring, paying coaches, etc. And if you do that for a group of 25 through all the year, that adds up. So I would like to see teams play. I'd like to see teams use their academy more. I'd like to see United play academy more. I've said this.
Yeah, but there's certain teams where if it did come down to that and you're just solely dependent on academy coming through, certain teams are going to struggle, boy.
True.
Because think about it, it's like, so, and let's be honest now, you talk about people producing academy talent is, so you look at Hughes, amazing facility, amazing record and history of bringing you through. Us, exactly the same. Leeds fall into that. Chelsea produce the talent, but they don't ever get it. Chelsea are in that mix.
We've got them there, yeah.
Yeah, City can throw whatever money they want at the academy. They are not producing players to that level. They've not produced any players that have made an impact like what Leeds did 15 years ago, like what Hughes can do. Like, for example, we've bought Trent through. Connor Cody came from our academy. He's Wolves. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at Hughes, Rashford, Greenwood. It's not even up for debate.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it did come down to that, they're going to struggle big time.
That's true.
Their last academy products, probably who's made a major impact? Micah Richards, Sean Wright Phillips. That's a long time ago now.
Before we finish the show, I know Foden didn't start there. Where did he start? Or was he at sea? Foden,
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he did. He's always been at City, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Could be wrong. All right, we'll have to look into that. I'd be interested to see because he's the only name from their academy I even remember in recent years. Like that's it. It's just him. Like there's not even a sniff of. You never hear like, oh, there's such and such youth product. Oh, he plays for City. Like nothing.
What's mad about him though? They buy a lot of players though. They buy a lot of youth product players. A lot of them. But just don't ever bring no one through.
But you talk about it in terms of Pep wanting ready-made senior players. He's probably looking at, well, I want ready-made youth players. Like I don't want a coach. Like I want a player who's 18, but his level is he could be playing. He's playing the level of a 20, 21-year-old type of thing.
Yeah, but it's like you look at when we played Everton, the team that we put out, that was Everton's first team. We played kids and Adam Lallana. Look at some of the talent on there. City could never do that. You can do that because you've got that talent in abundance.
Definitely. Definitely.
Pep used to having a Busquets ready-made. Pedro, that's that generation. He had the Pedro, Busquets, the
Puyol, Xavi, Iniesta.
That's high levels, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To the manager, they'd make that anywhere. You know what I mean? They'd make it anywhere.
Yeah, like they're generational talents. Like you don't just get you don't just get a Puyol or a Xavi or Iniesta from any. Even if you go try and buy one, that stuff. Never mind bringing out through the youth academy. But what we'll do here is, I just had the idea now on the show. We'll wrap this show up. I mean, we'll wrap this episode up. But we'll do, I don't know, from a third eye view. I call it from a third eye view extra time, and we'll do extra half an hour or something and put it out on another day. But we'll record now. I'm just doing this live on air, people. See how ideas come to me, just so we break up the episodes. So appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. This will be dropping on the Sarcasm City channel. But make sure you like this video, share the video, comment, all that good stuff. And make sure you check out the second episode, part 2 of this episode